Hello everybody and welcome back to my channel. My name is Paige, so thank you so much for stopping by today. And you know what? The entertainment recently has just really been entertaining. It's been doing a little something different. 2024 entertainment wise has been going so great. So in this video, we're just gonna chat about Love is Blind, REESATEESA, just all the things that I've been watching lately that have me hooked. And I hope you guys enjoy this video. So let's get right into it. So if you are not watching Love is Blind by now, I don't know what you're doing. You need to watch Love is Blind because this season of Love is Blind has been absolutely ridiculous. And I don't want to spend too much time talking about Love is Blind, but I have so many thoughts. This might be like the most unpopular of unpopular opinions, but honestly, in my opinion, Clay is not that bad. I feel like Clay gets like dragged over the coals, like feet to the fire, and we just let AD like skate on by. And one thing that I really don't like is that let's stop acting like a lot of us don't come from broken homes with, you know, single parents or absentee fathers and act like that just has no effect on your behavior. And I do appreciate that Clay was vulnerable and opened up and shared that, because something like that does affect you. It does affect your behavior and it does affect how you see relationships. However, Clay cannot use that as an excuse to act how he acts, because, you know, your parents are your parents, but you can't take that into like who you are today. So I definitely don't think it's an excuse for his behavior, but it is an explanation. And it's good that he said at the reunion that he's getting therapy, which he needs. But like, let's talk about AD for a second. AD is low-key not the girl that we thought she was. I mean, that y'all thought she was, because I have friends like AD, and that's why watching AD like makes me mad, because it like triggers me, because she reminds me of a lot of my girlfriends who continuously keep people in their life that have shown them over and over and over like who they are. And I'm not above being played. Like, let me just say that. It's not that I think, because I am in a healthy relationship, but I'm not above being played, okay? Like, I know like things happen when you love somebody. You put yourself out there to get heartbroken or for someone to hurt you. You just never know what can happen in relationships. But I have too much pride. Like, it may call it my ego. I think it's the pride in me. Like, I don't like to be embarrassed. I have too much pride to be embarrassed. So please, like, if someone embarrasses me or like does something to me like that, like, I'm a very forgiving person, but like you barely even get one time, because the pride in me, like my pride, like will not let it go. And I need AD to have too much pride to like put herself in this situation, because at the reunion, after the reunion, basically on what's his name, Nick Vale's podcast, AD basically said that they're like flirty friends, so pretty much a situationship. And it's like, you need to have too much pride for that, because at the wedding, she said if he said no at the wedding, it's done. Well, it wasn't done, because now they're still flirty friends, as she calls it. And so I just feel like sometimes like you can't be mad at someone. It's like, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, you know.
It says, fool me once, shame on you. If fool me, we can't get fooled again.
Because after someone shows you who they are, they show you how they can treat you, and they show you the capacity that they have for the relationship. If you decide to keep putting yourself in that situation and keep going back to them, then it's really, you only have yourself to blame at that point. Like, you're not a victim of your own circumstances because you are keeping yourself in that situation. And I just feel like it's just really irritating that, I mean, Clay's getting so much heat, but at least he's self-aware. You know what I'm saying? Like, at least he's self-aware. Like, I wish AD had a little bit more self-awareness, because baby, not only is she still like flirty friends with Clay, she went out on dates with Matthew after she said that it hurt her so much that he was telling her and the other girl like the same thing basically, and that it hurt her basically because he kind of played in her face about her dad. But it didn't hurt you enough that you went on a couple dates with him. Like, please, because when I tell you, I know girls like AD, and it just like You're too pretty for that. You're too pretty for that. You're too pretty to be putting up with all of these games and all of these lames. Like, wow, I'm gonna be a rapper. Like, she's too pretty for that, and I'm sick. Like, it just, watching the whole thing just makes me sick. And then I really don't like how people are trying to say that Clay is treating AD the way that he was because she's dark skinned. Now, I know that there is a lot of trauma, and it is valid to see the situation and to come to that conclusion, because that does happen a lot of times. A lot of times, men, in this case specifically Black men, favor or can favor, racially ambiguous women, light-skinned women, Latinas, everybody, you know what I'm saying? And that happens a lot. But I just don't think that this is a situation in this case. Like, we haven't seen that. And I don't think that Clay behaved in a way that would lead us to that conclusion, in my opinion. I think AD is a beautiful girl. I think Clay knows that AD is beautiful. I think Clay would have treated anybody like trash because he's just not ready for a relationship. And I feel like treated like trash is like a stretch. I think he did not treat her well because he was wishy-washy and he doesn't know what he wants to do. But I mean, I think he would have treated anybody like that who he was in a relationship with. And I feel like sometimes when that's the first conclusion that people jump to, like, oh, he's not feeling her because she's dark skinned, it's like, it says more about what you're thinking than, I don't know. It's just kind of like, why are you jumping to that conclusion? Not saying that it's not a valid conclusion to surmise, but I just don't think that this is that. Yeah. And oh my gosh, I don't want to make this like a whole Love is Blind video, but let me really quick. Chelsea is very insecure and emotionally manipulative. Jimmy did not like that girl, so yeah, half these people were here for fame. Like Jess, I think she was there for fame, just like Trevor. And they definitely, like, poor Trevor was about to cry on there. But it's just like, how many people go on reality TV shows to get their followers up? And, not saying that it's right, but it's like, it happens a lot. And I can venture to say, I feel like pretty much the entire cast, besides Brittany, Kenneth, and the two that ended up together, I can't even remember their names because they were barely shown, but the majority of the cast, I think, was there for followers and clout, and they just had to make an example out of Trevor. And like I said, Jimmy did not like that girl. Chelsea, I feel like she could tell that he didn't like her, so she was just being super toxic and very manipulative to try to, like, control the situation, but she could feel it. And then, very weird how Brittany and Kenneth ended up, like, he was on his phone all the time. I think that they just weren't as attracted to each other when they met. I would really have wanted to know, like, what actually happened, but maybe it was just an attraction thing. I don't know, because people were trying to say that maybe it was because, like, Kenneth realized that they were in an interracial relationship, but I don't think that's what it was, because when they first saw each other and even at their first, like, couple meetup with the other couples, he was super into her. So I don't know what happened with that. Very odd. And then Sarah Ann, I understand that they're on a reality show, so, like, a lot of these relationships are very flimsy and paper thin, but it's like, I'm not mad at her for sending the message, like, if anything changes, I'm here. Like, okay, whatever, send the message, but they shouldn't have met up. Like, if you see each other out, and let's say that was a coincidence, which I don't think it was, then hi and bye, keep it pushing, I'm engaged. You know what I'm saying? Whether you've been engaged for 3 weeks, because there's people who meet each other for 2 weeks and then they end up married for 20 years. So I feel like them saying, like, oh, y'all were together 3 weeks is, like, not a real engagement. I don't think that that's really fair to say, or, like, accurate. I think that she should have stayed in her place. And see, now I'm like, maybe she shouldn't have messaged him at all, because yeah, she shouldn't have even messaged him at all, because maybe she planted a seed of doubt in his mind too, like, because now he knows if it doesn't work out, she's, like, on the back burner, Yeah, she should have just stayed in her lane. Like, you don't do that. You just don't hit up, like, you weren't chosen. He didn't choose you. Like AD said, like, he didn't choose you. So yeah, but all in all, this was a really messy season. Oh, and then Trevor got exposed for being there for clout. Jeremy him and Sarah Ann are weird, and that's all that situation. And he has a whole lot going on at home with a baby and a bunch of stuff. And he was engaged like 2 weeks before the show. I'm allegedly, I don't know, but yeah, this was a messy, messy season. But I was here for it. It was so good. I mean, it was entertaining, but I don't like to say too much about people on reality shows because at the end of the day, like, they are real people. So, but what I saw was some mess. And say what you want about Love is Blind, but I'm seated every season to see what's gonna happen. So, yeah. REESATEESA. She needed to have a theme song for her stories. REESATEESA. I swear, like, she took my freaking TikTok algorithm by storm. Like, it was maybe 2 weeks, 2 or 3 weeks, maybe, of just seeing REESATEESA before I actually clicked it and went to watch the story, because I'm like, what is everybody talking about? Like, I had to figure it out. And then once I did, I was not disappointed. I was locked in. Reesa is such a good storyteller. Like, she had me hanging on every word. I would just let that thing play while I was at work, and woo, I would be sitting there at work like, oh my gosh, Reesa, what? Like, it was so good, and it really had me enthralled. Reesa is such a good storyteller. And I think it's great that she's getting her flowers and, brands want to work with her. I think that's totally fine. People get brand deals for much less. So if she gets some, compensation for her pain and suffering, Legion ain't gonna give it to her. So I think it's awesome that she's getting signed to an agency, and maybe she can get a book deal, or she could start writing for movies or something behind the scenes. Yeah, like, why not? In this economy, get a bag. There's a lot of REESATEESAs out there, and I mean, no one, like, you have to really just have discernment and just really vet people before you just believe every single thing that they say. And don't believe people on their words, believe them by their actions, because man, if I was REESATEESA by the third time my house fell through and I didn't get my BMW, sir, we gotta break up. We gotta break up. I'm sorry, it's not working out. It's not working out. Hey, like, let's see the receipts. Go ahead and give me that BMW. Give me the keys first or something. Like, he was just promising her so much and, like, did not deliver on any of those promises. And so, I mean, like she said, she just kind of ignored a lot of that because he was, paying a couple bills and stuff. But like I said, by the third time that we're looking for a house and I'm still in the townhouse, you gotta go, sir. Because I don't know. Like, who even has time to be going to all them open houses and, like, looking at houses that much? Like, no. I would just be so tired of getting my hopes up and then hear this man go talking on the phone to himself all hours of the day. Like, I just. But I'm very happy for Reesa, and I'm happy that everything, all's well that ends well. It worked out for her in the end, and she got out unscathed. Okay, so we are done with all of the reality TV stuff. So next, and REESATEESA stuff. So next, I just wanted to tell you guys about 3 movies that I watched recently on Netflix that I really, really liked. And if you didn't know, I usually do movie reviews here on this channel. And so the first movie that I watched that I really liked was The School for Good and Evil. And I know this movie came out 2 years ago, I think. And Kerry Washington is in it. Lawrence Fishburne is in it as well. When it came out, I know that it had a lot of mixed reviews and some people really did not like it because it is based on a book series, but I really enjoyed the movie. If you like fantasy, fairy tales, Bridgerton, that type of vibe, I think you'll really like this movie. It's about 2 best friends who live in this little town, and they're both ridiculed and bullied. And Sophie is the friend who is looked at, I guess, as a bit more of the good friend. She's more optimistic, more confident. And then Agatha is a little bit more introverted. She wears, darker colors, and she's, I guess, who you would consider to be like the bad one out the 2. If one became good, you would think it was Sophie. If the other was gonna be bad one day, you would think it was Agatha. And so Sophie is desperate to get out of their situation and to leave that town behind her. So after hearing a story about a girl who was taken away in the middle of the night, allegedly to the school of good and evil, Sophie writes her wish to leave on a note and sticks it in the wishing tree. And then from there, the girls are whisked away and taken to the school for good and evil. But then one gets dropped off in the good school and one gets dropped off in the bad school. And they spend their time trying to, tell everybody like, we're not in the right school and correct the mistake. And then chaos ensues. I don't want to spoil it if you haven't seen it, but it is a really good movie. I thought it was really cute and really fun. And as someone like me, I love a little Bridgerton vibe. I love fairy tales. I like that type of stuff. I think it's super cute, and it's just cute to not have to watch something that's super emotionally arduous and draining to watch. So I thought it was really cute, and if that sounds like your cup of tea, go check it out. So now the next movie I watched that I enjoyed was Thanksgiving. For all my horror baddies out there, I really liked this movie. Now, when I first watched it, I was it was okay. It wasn't as scary as I thought it was going to be, but maybe I'm getting desensitized because I've been watching a lot more slashers lately. So I'm priming myself, but I love a slasher. If you guys are not new to this channel, then I love a slasher movie. And this movie gave me all the slasher feels. Scream is really that girl because you can tell she was the blueprint, or the red print. Get it? Blood, red, yeah. But I feel like it had a lot of those same kind of teen movie thriller slasher beats, but it was fresh and I really enjoyed it. So Thanksgiving is a horror slasher set in the fall Black Friday Thanksgiving season, and basically in the beginning of the movie there's a huge Black Friday scene going on, but it quickly goes bloody and deadly because people are trampling over each other, they're arguing, the worst sides of the townspeople come out of them on Black Friday, and that is the event that sets off the killings and the murder spree that a masked pilgrim killer executes or goes on a year later on the anniversary of this big Black Friday massacre. Now, I really enjoyed this movie. It's a black comedy in a way. It has a lot of dark humor and it's very gory. The kills are super over the top, but they're very creative and they're different than I've seen before. There's a lot of scenes with parades and large scale events happening, and those were some of my favorite scenes in the entire movie. And there's a scene with the trampoline that I was not expecting, and I thought it was so whoa, it was a good scene because I was not expecting it at all, and it was very creative. So also, I would definitely go check out Thanksgiving if you haven't seen it yet. If you want to save it for fall when fall comes around, or it's Summerween. A lot of people do Summerween, so give it a watch and see what you think, because I liked it and I can definitely see it becoming one of those cult classic kind of movies later on in years to come. So check out Thanksgiving. And last but certainly not least, the last movie that I watched on Netflix. And you know what? I'm wow, now that I think about it, a lot of the stuff that I'm talking about was on Netflix. Love is Blind is on Netflix too. So Netflix did a little something for me. They need to change that subscription policy because it's... Anyway, but the last movie I watched was No Hard Feelings, starring Jennifer Lawrence. Now, No Hard Feelings is about a 30-something-year-old woman who is about to lose her childhood home. And in order to save it, she answers a Craigslist ad that is asking for a wealthy couple's 19-year-old son to lose his virginity. And she answers the ad in exchange for a car so that she can use the car to get to work to make money to keep her childhood home. And now this movie was really funny. It was definitely a lot different than I expected, and I didn't expect to laugh out loud as much as I did. It was actually really funny, and I hope that in the future we see a lot more rom-coms coming out, especially coming this summer and in the next couple years to come. I love romantic comedies, and I wish it's a genre that I feel really needs to make a big comeback. So I really enjoyed this movie. It does have some raunchy humor, kind of like a Hangover What's that movie where Katherine Heigl's pregnant? Baby Mama. No, it's not Baby Mama. That movie where Katherine Heigl's pregnant, the humor kind of reminds me of that. Yeah, but it has some like raunchy humor, but I thought it was really funny. Jennifer Lawrence did a really good job in the movie, and the guy who plays the main boy in the movie, iPad, of course. Andrew Barth Feldman, he played Percy. He did a really good job as well. They had great chemistry, and I just really liked the movie. The story was cute, and yeah, it was really cute. It's kind of like Failure to Launch. Do you guys remember Failure to Launch with Jennifer Aniston and Matthew McConaughey? Why was I gonna forget his name? I love Matthew McConaughey. Yeah, it's kind of like Failure to Launch, but with a car and an age gap. So if you like Failure to Launch, you'll like this movie. So go check it out. So alright, you guys, that was the end of this video. I didn't want to make it too long, so I hope I got through everything as quickly as I could. I know I was talking a lot about Love is Blind, but I got a lot of knowledge, you know, got a lifetime of knowledge.
If you bro, got a lifetime of knowledge.
No, I'm kidding. But thank you guys so much for coming to my channel. If this is your first time here, thank you for stopping by. And if you've been here many times before, thank you for keep coming back. I love when you guys comment and talk to me down in the comments. So let me know if you've seen any of these things. If you have any thoughts about Love is Blind, REESATEESA, any of the movies that I watched, definitely comment down below and let me know. And if you like this video, give it a like, and yeah, let me know how you guys feel down below. I really appreciate you guys, and I just want to say I appreciate every single person who stops by my channel and watches what I have to say. So thank you guys so much, and I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I will see you in the next one. Bye.
Speed marker.
If you haven't somebody, you are warranted, like warranted. Okay, and last but certainly as like what he oh my god, that's what I get for talking about people. Good grief.